Hello, welcome to this video. We're going to get started with some camera rigs today. So just to show what the setup I've got at the moment is, this is basically it. So there we go. Okay, so let's do a camera then. And 15mm here. Okay, there it is. So it looks okay for the starting point. Okay, so we'll just leave the camera in the default position and we want to animate it to go to the number 2, right? So one way that we could do this is to go and use the orbit tool here. So literally what I just did, and we'll just swap it around to number 2, like so. Okay, so when we did it, it looked like it was working pretty well. But if you actually look at what's happened, and you can see here on the left there in the top view, what's happening is it's getting too close. So what that does, the orbit tool there, it actually just creates like a straight line. So if you wanted it to not go that close, what you would need to do is you'd need to adjust the motion path, right? So you jump in here. So essentially you just want to keep an equidistance. And so if you look at it now, you can see it goes properly, keeping an equal distance from the numbers there. Okay, let's go back to the start and we'll do layer new camera. Okay, and also going to do layer new null object and make sure that one is 3D. Okay, so let's just take a look at the position here of both these objects. So you can see that looks fine. You want ideally these to be the same values here. So what we can do is we can then say we want the parent of the camera to be this null object here. So if we go to the rotation for the null object here, we can do Y rotation, and we'll just go to a few seconds here, and we'll change that number to 90 degrees. So you can see what happens, right? Does it perfectly. And you'll notice that if you actually look at the arc here of the camera, it's actually moving in a perfect rotation. So that's a way to do it in a way that means you don't have to change the Beziers. So the advantage with this is that you can actually then still do stuff with the camera, but it will keep this good rotation that we've got. So for instance, we could change a Y value. So let's do, say, a keyframe here. And we'll get it to, say, come from above, right? So we change the Y value here to, say, -700. You can see it's still going to get that rotation like that. And you could do the same with the Z value as well. You could do, what should we say? I could make this like -2000. Come in like that maybe. Okay, so that was an example of an orbit camera rig. Now we want to look at a dolly camera rig. So we're going to go layer, new camera. Put that one in. And then we're going to do a couple of null objects. There we go. Make sure everything is 3D. We're going to look at the position of the camera here. So that is there. And then we're going to select these two, paste those numbers in, and we also need to rename them as well. So this top one is going to be the floor. This one is going to be the crane. And then parent of this is the crane, parent of this is floor. Okay, so if you look at the position, you can see these are all at 0, 0, 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to start obviously here. And we're going to see, like, how can we zoom in, right? So the way to zoom in essentially is just to do this, right? So we can just go straight through. For example, we could actually change the initial position as well. Maybe we'll just change the initial position. So we'll just go a little bit this way. Maybe so we sort of get in a little gap there. Might be an interesting thing to try. So we look at that now, you can see we're going to go in the gap there. So for instance, we might say, well, we're sort of like going a little bit through that 4. So maybe if we started a little bit higher up, it might actually help to do that. So for instance, we could change the position of the crane here. We could say we want it to be like a little bit higher up, right? So we'll go a little bit higher up here. So you can see how that looks. So you see we still go along the same path,